wheels of justice grind slowly, but sometimes they hit an unexpected bump. In the high-stakes trial of rapper Young Thug, the unexpected came in the form of a judge's gavel. Young Thug's own lawyer, Steele, found himself on the wrong side of the law. His crime, contempt of court; his sentence, 20 days behind bars; Steele's transgression, a verbal outburst, a show of frustration, an act of defiance against what he perceived as unfair treatment by the court. Whatever the reason, the outcome was clear. The man paid the price. And the complex case against Young Thug, already mired in legal battles and accusations, took another unexpected turn. The courtroom buzzed with the news. Whispers filled the space where silence usually reigned. Young Thug, his face etched with concern, watched as his advocate became the accused. The case against him, already a tangled web of allegations and legal maneuvering, just got more complicated. The implications of Steele's sentencing were immediately apparent. The defense, already grappling with a mountain of evidence and a determined prosecution, now faced a new challenge. Their leader, their strategist, their voice in the courtroom was silenced, at least temporarily. 20 days might not seem like an eternity, but in the legal world, it can feel like an eternity. 20 days for the prosecution to regroup, to strengthen their case, to exploit any weakness created by Steele's absence. 20 days for doubt to creep into the minds of the jury. The prosecution, smelling blood in the water, pressed their advantage. Their arguments seemed sharper, their witnesses more confident. The defense, scrambling to adjust, fought to regain their footing. Every objection, every motion, every legal maneuver felt like a struggle against the tide. The courtroom had become a pressure cooker, the air thick with tension, the silence punctuated by the rhythmic tapping of the stenographer's keys. And in this pressure cooker, whispers of doubt began to surface. Whispers about Gunna, Young Thug's longtime friend and collaborator. Gunna, facing his own charges in the sprawling YSL case, had taken a plea deal. He walked free, leaving Young Thug to face the music alone. Was this an act of self-preservation, or was there something more sinister at play? The prosecution, never ones to miss an opportunity, seized upon Gunna's plea deal. They painted a picture of a man willing to betray his friend to save his own skin. A man who traded loyalty for freedom. A man who knew more than he was letting on. Gunna's plea deal hung over the courtroom like a specter. His testimony, given under oath, seemed to implicate Young Thug in the crimes he was accused of. But was it the truth? Or was it a carefully crafted narrative designed to appease the prosecution and secure his freedom? The defense team, now under the leadership of Steele's associate, fought tooth and nail to discredit Gunna's testimony. They pointed to inconsistencies in his story, gaps in his memory, and a clear motive for lying. But the damage, it seemed, had been done. The jury, once seemingly sympathetic to Young Thug, now seemed uncertain. The seeds of doubt, sown by the prosecution and fertilized by Gunna's testimony, had taken root. The courtroom, once a battleground for justice, now felt like a crucible of uncertainty. The courtroom had become a house of mirrors. Truth and lies reflected back and forth. Alliances shifted like the desert sands. And at the center of it all stood Young Thug, his fate hanging in the balance. The prosecution, emboldened by recent events, pressed for a swift conviction. They argued that Young Thug was the mastermind behind YSL, a criminal enterprise masquerading as a record label. They presented evidence of his lyrics, his social media posts, and his associations as proof of his guilt. The defense countered with equal fervor. They argued that Young Thug was an artist, not a criminal. That his lyrics were a form of creative expression, not a confession. That his associations were a reflection of his profession, not his character. As the trial neared its end, the tension in the courtroom was palpable. The jury, tasked with deciding Young Thug's fate, deliberated for days. The weight of their decision, the gravity of the charges, hung heavy in the air. Young Thug, once a symbol of success, now faced an uncertain future. Would he be exonerated, his name cleared of all charges? Or would he be found guilty, destined to spend years behind bars? The fall from grace, once it begins, can be swift and unforgiving. In the world of fame and fortune, where loyalty is often fleeting and betrayal commonplace, the line between truth and fiction can be blurred beyond recognition. And sometimes, even the most talented lawyers find themselves caught in the crossfire.